Tonight on NewsWatch, much of the Northeast is under a blizzard warning. We'll look at how folks are facing their biggest snowstorm in years.
Plus, how their position on gay marriage led to a shooting at a conservative Christian lobbying group. And which historically Christian country is seeing a rise in the number of mega mosques being built? All this and more tonight on NewsWatch. Good evening. I'm Mark Martin. And I'm Wendy Griffith. Well, it's probably a sight to see, but you don't want to go driving in Massachusetts to look at the historic blizzard hitting the Northeast right now.
Isn't that the truth? The storm is supposed to be so dangerous, the governor there has banned all but essential traffic from the roads.
In tonight's top story, Paul Strand reports on the blizzard hitting the region still reeling from Superstorm Sandy.
Near the end of last year, it was Superstorm Sandy. Now near the start of this year, it's the big blowing blizzard. Some think this could be among the top 10 snowstorms to ever blast the Northeast. That's why unauthorized driving in Massachusetts during the storm could get you tossed in jail for up to a year or fined $500.
I have now signed an executive order banning vehicle traffic effective at 4 o'clock today.
Those near the sea are nailing up and hunkering down, because if the worst of this storm hits at the height of the tides, it could cause a whole new round of coastal floods.
Trying to batten down the hatches here if any storms are coming, and the last one ruined us totally.
A pretty dangerous storm we're looking at right now. We're concerned along the coast of high tidal surges, particularly Saturday morning is going to be a tough surge.
Others are filling up and hightailing it out, like new mom Dale LaPenta.
We don't want to take a chance losing power, and it gets quite windy here. You can't really sleep at night.
I'm trying to get some early flights out since our flights for tomorrow, original flights, have already been canceled.
Airlines not wanting to risk getting people and planes stranded have already canceled some 3,700 flights.
It's incumbent upon the public to call or contact your individual carrier and find out about the status of your specific flight before you come to the airport.
And even if the jets were to brave the high winds and low visibility, many of the mass transit systems and ways to get passengers in and out of the airports will be down anyway. Paul Strand, CBN News.
And for more on the storm conditions, we turn now to AccuWeather's Adrian Green.
Well, a historic storm is certainly unfolding as we head through tonight across parts of the Northeast. You can see we've actually got two storms here across the Northeast. They're going to be coming together as we head through tonight. And once those two storms come together, it's going to bomb out here across southeastern New England. Travel shutdown certainly expected here. Power outage is going to be widespread here across the Northeast. And not only that, once you factor in the wind and the snow, it's just going to be a nightmare. So travel, it's not recommended at all here across the Northeast. We are going to be talking about 1 to 2 feet of snow in places like Boston, Providence, even extending back towards Hartford. And I do think there will be a sweet spot here across New England that do pick up over 2 feet of snow. So a lot of snow coming down in a short amount of time. And once you factor in those winds gusting up to around 60, 70 miles per hour at times, we're going to be seeing blowing and drifting snow. Whiteout conditions a concern here, with visibility is dropping off to nearly zero. Those winds also going to be a concern for you right along the coast. That's where we do have the coastal flood threat, and the tides that we're concerned about are the one here tonight, and as we head through tomorrow morning, also a tide concern for you right along the coast. Now, as we head through the day tomorrow, we'll see things begin to wind down, but I do still think that we will have blizzard conditions to contend with here across parts of New England tomorrow morning. Even as we head through the afternoon, the snow may stop, but the winds will continue to blow and drift that snow here across the area.
Wow, that's a messy one up there. In other news, the nation's Roman Catholic bishops are still not happy with the Obama administration's compromise plan over birth control coverage. They say it just doesn't go far enough. The bishops, led by New York Cardinal Timothy Dolan, want the government to make it clear that faith-affiliated hospitals and other nonprofits are religious ministries. They say the revised plan falls short because it still does not provide exemptions for business owners who have religious objections to providing certain contraceptives.
Joining us now is Father Frank Pavone, National Director of Priests for Life. Father Frank, is there any room for compromise between religious organizations and the government on this issue?
No, there really isn't. What I said after the latest proposed rule change came out from the Obama administration is that the only acceptable response, as far as we're concerned, is a complete rescinding of the HHS mandate. No matter what way the administration wants to slice it or spin it, the fact is they are still forcing us to cooperate in evil. We become the gateway to a person getting coverage for activities that we teach are against God's law. There's no two ways about it. There's no way to finesse it and find some kind of complicated new system of coverage or payment. The bottom line is we want nothing to do with promoting these activities, and therefore the mandate needs to be rescinded.
Well, dozens of lawsuits, as you know, have been filed by faith-based companies like Hobby Lobby, who say the mandate is at odds with their religious convictions. Does this revised plan from the government do anything at all to address their concerns?
No, it does not. Now, we as a religious organization were one of the first to file such a lawsuit as well. And even though these proposed revisions address what is or is not a religious organization, believe it or not, still, under these new proposals, Priests for Life does not qualify as religious enough to count for an exemption. Even worse, as you're pointing out, are those businesses, those employers who do not present their organizations or their businesses as religious entities. The administration apparently doesn't recognize that freedom of conscience belongs to people and to groups who are even not churches or religious organizations. This seems to be completely absent from their radar screen. So we join with all Americans to say that everyone, whether they run a religious organization or not, has the freedom of conscience to conduct their activities in the way they believe God wants them to do.
And in just a few remaining seconds, what do you think is the next step for the Catholic Church and other religious organizations in this battle?
We need to continue to press forward with the lawsuits, and we need to continue to educate our fellow Americans that we're all in this together and that we have to obey God rather than men.
Father Frank Pavone, I appreciate your passion on this issue, and you are with Priests for Life. Thanks so much for being with us today.
You're welcome. God bless you.
A portrait of Jesus at an Ohio public school is the focus of a federal lawsuit. The American Civil Liberties Union of Ohio and the Freedom from Religion Foundation say the portrait violates the Constitution because it promotes religion. They say it should be removed from Jackson Middle School, which is about 65 miles south of Columbus. The superintendent says the school board will discuss an appropriate course of action at its February 12th meeting. School officials say the portrait was donated by a student group and has been in the school since about 1947.
He was a gunman who wanted to kill as many people as possible at a Christian organization, all because they oppose same-sex marriage. Floyd Corkins pled guilty to the charges tied to his attack on the Family Research Council in Washington last August, and he revealed some disturbing details about why he did it. Ephraim Graham has that story.
In his federal court appearance Wednesday, Floyd Corkins entered guilty pleas and revealed more about why he attacked the Family Research Council. Corkins pleaded guilty to 3 charges: interstate transportation of a firearm and ammunition, assault with intent to kill while armed, and act of terrorism while armed. Corkins admitted he intended to kill as many people as possible and then smear Chick-fil-A sandwiches in the faces of his victims. Chick-fil-A at the time was in the news because its president opposed same-sex marriage. According to the plea, Corkins targeted the Family Research Council for its stance on gay rights. He said he found the FRC and others labeled as hate groups on the Southern Poverty Law Center's website. The SPLC features a hate map on its website, counting more than 900 active hate groups in the United States. Immediately after the shooting in August, FRC President Tony Perkins said the SPLC shares some of the blame.
Corkins was given a license to shoot an unarmed man by organizations like the Southern Poverty Law Center that have been reckless in labeling organizations hate groups because they disagree with them on public policy.
The SPLC rejected that comment, saying the SPLC has listed the FRC as a hate group since 2010. because it has knowingly spread false and denigrating propaganda about LGBT people, not as some claim because it opposes same-sex marriage. But after Corkins admitted he used the SPLC website, Perkins said, the Southern Poverty Law Center can no longer say that it is not a source for those bent on committing acts of violence. Ephraim Graham, CBN News.
Corkins faces up to 30 years in prison on each of the 2 local charges and up to 10 years on the federal charge. His sentencing is scheduled for April 29th.
Retired Lieutenant General Jerry Boykin is the executive vice president of the Family Research Council. Earlier, he spoke with our Lee Webb about the shooting.
This man is going to serve a long prison term for what he's done. Is it sobering to think about just how far our culture has digressed?
Yes, Lee, it does. And first of all, we at the Family Research Council are praying for Floyd Lee Corkins. Secondly, this should be a warning to Christians and to people with conservative values. With 70 rounds of ammunition, there's no telling how many people could have been killed there if we hadn't stopped him.
Yet the Southern Poverty Law Center is showing no willingness to remove FRC from its hate list on the website. Is that correct?
No, quite the contrary. They have come out stating that they have a public responsibility, or words to that effect, to notify the public as to who the hate groups are. But this is very dangerous. And who are they except a private organization that has taken upon themselves as self-appointed watchdogs to label organizations and individuals as hate groups or hate mongers.
You're one of our nation's most decorated veterans. You have been in practically every major conflict since Vietnam. When you retired, did you expect that you might meet this kind of violence by sitting in an office building in Washington, D.C.?
When I retired, I intended to go fishing, and that lasted about a week, and my wife told me that that was not acceptable. No, I did not expect to continue to get shot at, but you know what, Lee? I wouldn't have it any other way, and the reason is because I'm very concerned about the direction of this nation.
Sobering words there. Well, coming up, how the gun control debate is impacting law enforcement. CBNNews.com. News you want, when you want, 24/7. Stay current with up-to-the-minute stories.
Ephraim Graham, CBN News, New York.
I don't have to wait for my news anymore.
CBNNews.com at your fingertips all day long.
I only watch the stories I want to see.
I find the story, I click on it, and boom, I'm there.
Embassy in Washington, Eric Stackelbeck, CBN News.
The source for your news, CBNNews.com.
Listen up for an amazing offer that can change the way you hear.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Can you repeat that?
Frustrated with your hearing?
What did he say?
Well, hear better now. Introducing the fully rechargeable MSA 30X, a revolutionary device that features the latest microsound amplification technology that can barely be seen. Independently tested to help you hear up to 30 times better. It turns ordinary hearing into extraordinary hearing. MSA 30X works by capturing and amplifying sound waves, yet its lightweight ergoacoustic design is discreet. It form-fits in and around either ear.
I forget I'm even wearing it.
And MSA 30X is powerful. Hear clearly in restaurants. Never miss another word on TV or at the movies.
My wife complains that I have the volume up on the TV too loud.
And I didn't want to be in the same room with them.
Now I can hear everything clearly.
Simply adjust the volume as you desire. Other units use so many batteries and they're difficult to change. But the MSA 30X is completely rechargeable. Simply plug it into the wall.
I tried other devices that had batteries, but they were always such a pain to change and so costly. But this is rechargeable, so I figure I save hundreds a year.
Bulky sound amplifiers can cost hundreds, but try MSA 30X for just $59.95 and we'll include a cleaning brush and 5 comfort tips. But wait, in this special TV offer, we'll cut the price in half. Now you can hear up to 30 times better for just $29.95. But there's even more. We'll double the offer free. Just pay additional processing and handling. Wear them both or give one to a loved one. Did you hear that? That's 2 MSA 30Xs for just $29.95. The MSA 30X Hear Better Now offer. Get 2 for just $29.95.
All I can say is just try it. It could change your life.
To order the MSA 30X sound amplifier, call 1-800-535-0654. That's 1-800-535-0654. Or you can go to MSA30X.com. Call or go online now.
Lawmakers in California are pushing for the toughest gun laws in the nation. Democrats who control the state legislature unveiled 10 measures aimed at curbing gun violence, including banning the sale of semi-automatic weapons with detachable magazines. Like New York, background checks for buying ammunition would also be required. The measures would also ban possession of magazines holding more than 10 bullets, even by those who now own them legally. Well, as the debate over gun control continues, increased demand and price hikes on ammunition are leading to a nationwide shortage.
Law enforcement officers across the country say the types of ammo they need to do their job are getting harder and harder to find. Andrea Garrett has more.
Local police departments are having a hard time finding bullets to fill their guns. Some worry it could lead to a dangerous shortage that could affect the way law enforcement agents do their jobs.
We were issued a box a month so that we could go practice on our own. We no longer get that simply because the ammo's not there to make it available.
.40 caliber bullets are the kind most often used in police training. A 50-round box used to cost about $30, but in the wake of the Newtown, Connecticut shooting, demand is up, which means suppliers are raising prices as well.
Along with these tragic incidents that happen, the fear of what's going to happen with the government comes into play, and then people react to that.
And increased prices aren't the only concern. Some agencies are placing orders for ammo and being forced to wait months for it to arrive.
I think as long as the gun control issue is dominating the media and dominating our country right now, it's going to get worse. The rounds will be fewer to find.
Andrea Garrett, CBN News.
Seattle scraps plans for using drones as a police tool. The mayor announced that decision after people complained the drones could invade their privacy. Seattle had been given 2 drones through a federal grant. Police were planning to use them to view crime scenes and accidents, as well as aid in search and rescue operations. Seattle is not the only place blocking the use of drones. Lawmakers in at least 11 states are looking at plans to restrict them.
Up next, how Turkey is playing a role in the rise of Muslims in Germany.
Ow, my feet hurt. My feet hurt, your feet hurt. White hot pain, I wanna cry. Is there anything I can try?
Why, yes! Introducing Strut Soul Angels, the human shock absorber that helps alleviate foot pain.
The first 10 steps in the morning to the bathroom were excruciating. Within 3 days after I put Struts on, it's been such a relief.
Slipped it on and almost immediately I felt a support, kind of like a pillow underneath my arches.
The Struts Soul Angel provides a great amount of relief and support throughout the course of the day, providing shock absorption and relief of pain.
On your feet without proper support can be painful. Strut Soul Angels promotes better balance, control, and body alignment. Standing in your heels all day is painful, but slip on Struts and you'll enjoy comfort and support 24/7. Struts is so versatile, you'll wear them in every shoe you own, even barefoot.
I'm on my feet all the time. I teach 11 and 12-year-olds. The pain was so much that I knew I had to do something. And with the Struts, I can do my job and enjoy my job.
I usually am on my feet from 8 to 12 hours a day. When I wear my Struts, it's like giving my feet a hug all day.
It's life-changing. I wear them from the minute I get up to the minute I go to bed.
Why pay $400 for custom orthotics?
Now get Strut Soul Angels for just $10. You also get Miracle Foot Repair Cream, absolutely free. Use it to help relieve dry, callous feet overnight. But wait, call right now and we'll double the offer free. Just pay separate processing and handling. Plus, you get a 100% money-back guarantee. If not completely delighted, send it back. But keep the foot cream as our gift just for trying. You get it all. A $70 value for just $10.
Oh, yes! Love my Struts, love my Struts. The best thing since sliced bread. They heal pain from toes to head. Get yours now, your doctor said.
Struts, be nice to your feet. Call now.
Call 1-800-787-1580 and get your Struts and Miracle Foot Repair for just $10 and we'll double the offer. That's 1-800-787-1580 or visit getstruts.com.
Well, Germany has historically been a Christian country, the land of Martin Luther and the Reformation. Now the government of Turkey is making inroads for Islam in that country.
It's building mosques throughout Germany, including a new Turkish mega mosque that has many on edge. Eric Stackelbeck explains in tonight's Focus Report.
It's so big that it stops passers-by in their tracks. The 100-foot-high plus minarets tower over the local landscape and can be seen from blocks away. This is the Cologne Central Mosque, and when construction is completed, it will be Germany's largest Muslim house of worship. The $40 million facility will hold at least 1,200 worshipers and include a restaurant, a prayer room, a library, and more.
This is just a massive structure that takes up an entire city block here in Cologne, and when it's finished, it will be the largest mosque in all of Europe.
Germany is home to some 4.3 million Muslims, including 125,000 who live in Cologne. The large majority are Turkish. Although Cologne already has some 30 mosques, one German Muslim activist told CBN News the new facility is needed.
You had for years, for decades, you had very, very ugly places and the most and poorest parts of Cologne, underground, in booths, elsewhere where you had prayer places. And so now to have something which is visible, which is quite in the midst of the society, is something that is in deep and great need for the city itself, for the Muslims and for the society.
Ibrahim El Zayat helps support mosque projects throughout Europe. His critics have said he's a radical Islamist with ties to the Muslim Brotherhood. El Zayat denies the charge and says he's only trying to help Muslims take their rightful place in German society.
If you compare it by percentage to the total population of Muslims, and compare it, for example, to churches, to total population of Christians, then you should have in Germany not 3,000 prayer places, but 15,000.
Michael Hearn-Patberg is an anti-jihad activist based in Cologne. He told CBN News the new mega mosque is a political statement to show Islamic dominance in the city. It's no coincidence, he says, that Cologne is also home to the famed High Cathedral of St. Peter, a historic landmark and symbol of German Catholicism.
The cathedral is the largest Christian building north of the Alps, and the 4 Islamic Turkish associations also have their center in Cologne. The purpose is to challenge the sovereignty of Christianity in Cologne.
Not far from Cologne, in the small German town of Herten, locals are seeing a similar trend. Herten's population is 10% Turkish Muslim and rapidly growing.
There are a lot of small mosques here, called the backyard mosques. There are quite a number of them, but there is one big mosque, the Blue Mosque, and another one is being built.
Jutta Becker is a member of Herten City Council. She took CBN News to the so-called Blue Mosque, where cars were decorated with Turkish flags. Becker says the town's Christian leaders are silent in the face of Islam's growth.
When there are so-called Christian Islamic dialogue meetings, both the Catholic priests and the Protestant ministers ask me not to open my mouth and cause any trouble. I've got the reputation for stirring up things because I will not take the Islamization of this town lying down.
In Germany, critics of Islamization are often labeled by the media and the left as Nazis and racists.
It's always the same argument, the knock them dead argument. You're a right radical, or a populist radical, or you're a Nazi, or you're a foreign hater.
Claudia Ludwig heads the Independent Citizens Party in the town of Recklinghausen, north of Cologne. She believes many German Turks are more attached to their home country than to Germany.
The Turks in Germany regard Erdogan, and not the Chancellor of Germany, as their leader.
Turkey's Prime Minister Recep Tayyip Erdogan heads that country's Islamist government. In 2008, he told an audience of Germany's Turks that assimilation into German society would be, quote, a crime against humanity. Erdogan's government is directly involved in the building and supervision of mosques across Germany, including the Cologne Mega Mosque, through a cultural organization called DİTİB. DİTİB acts as an arm of the Turkish government in Germany. It operates with full German permission.
they should be looked at as enrichment, not as threat. And so if we say Erdogan has a relation to the people, oh, it's absolutely fine.
Erdogan's regime has drawn closer to its Islamic neighbors in recent years and is fiercely anti-Israel. That has some in Cologne wondering whether the new mega mosque will really be the beacon of tolerance that El Zayat would suggest. Eric Stackelbeck, CBN News, reporting from Cologne, Germany.
Up next, see what popular song has one baby waking up to dance.
CBNNews.com. News you want, when you want, 24/7. Stay current with up-to-the-minute stories.
Efrem Graham, CBN News, New York.
I don't have to wait for my news anymore. CBNNews.com at your fingertips all day long.
I only watch the stories I want to see.
I find the story, I click on it, and boom, I'm there.
Embassy in Washington, Eric Stackelbeck, CBN News.
The source for your news, CBNNews.com.
Listen up for an amazing offer that can change the way you hear.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Can you repeat that?
Frustrated with your hearing?
What did he say?
Well, hear better now. Introducing the fully rechargeable MSA 30X, a revolutionary device that features the latest microsound amplification technology that can barely be seen. Independently tested to help you hear up to 30 times better. It turns ordinary hearing into extraordinary hearing. MSA 30X works by capturing and amplifying sound waves, yet its lightweight ergoacoustic design is discreet. It form-fits in and around either ear.
I forget I'm even wearing it.
And MSA 30X is powerful. Hear clearly in restaurants. Never miss another word on TV or at the movies.
My wife complains that I have the volume up on the TV too loud.
And I didn't want to be in the same room with them.
Now I can hear everything clearly.
Simply adjust the volume as you desire. Other units use so many batteries and they're difficult to change. But the MSA 30X is completely rechargeable. Simply plug it into the wall.
I tried other devices that had batteries, but they were always such a pain to change and so costly. But this is rechargeable, so I figure I save hundreds a year.
Bulky sound amplifiers can cost hundreds, but try MSA 30X for just $59.95 and we'll include a cleaning brush and 5 comfort tips. But wait, in this special TV offer, we'll cut the price in half. Now you can hear up to 30 times better for just $29.95. But there's even more. We'll double the offer free. Just pay additional processing and handling. Wear them both or give one to a loved one. Did you hear that? That's 2 MSA 30Xs for just $29.95. The MSA 30X Hear Better Now offer. Get 2 for just $29.95.
All I can say is just try it. It could change your life.
To order the MSA 30X sound amplifier, call 1-800-535-0654. That's 1-800-535-0654. Or you can go to MSA30X.com. Call or go online now.
Well, do you have a favorite song? One little girl has become a YouTube sensation after a camera captures the moment that her favorite song, Gangnam Style, comes on the radio.
Yeah, the video already had more than 100,000 views. Take a look.
Gangnam Style. Gangnam Style.
Oh, that's great. And you know that wasn't an act because it's just a little stinker. Yeah.
I feel the same way. I think that song is really danceable. It gives you energy or something.
Yeah, it gets you going. My daughter loves it too as well.
I was curious, so I looked on Google. It has that song. The video has had over 1 billion hits on YouTube. I've never seen a song with that many hits before.
I believe it. It's so catchy. It really is.
It will get you inspired. That's all for this edition of NewsWatch.
Yeah, thanks for watching and have a great weekend.
Good night.